Who was the first Indian to reach Antarctica? Ramcharan. Lieutenant Ramcharan of the Indian Navy was the first Indian to reach Antarctica under the guidance of Dr. Syed Zahoor Qasim, Secretary of the Department of Environment and former director of NEO, in 1982. Antarctica lies in the southern hemisphere. Who was the first Deputy Prime Minister of India? Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel was an Indian independence nationalist and barrister who served as the first Deputy Prime Minister and Home Minister of India from 1947 to 1950. Who was the first Indian Prime Minister to resign from office? Morarji Desai was an Indian independence activist and politician who served as the fourth Prime Minister of India between 1977 and 1979, leading the government formed by the Janata Party. Who was the first President of India to die in office? Zakir Hussain. Their vice presidents served as acting presidents until a new president was elected. Following Zakir Hussain's death, two acting presidents held office until the new president, Varagiri Venkat Giri, was elected. Who was the first man to climb Mount Everest twice? Nawang Gombu Sherpa became the first Indian and the third man in the world to summit Nanda Devi, and in 1965, he became the first man in the world to have climbed Mount Everest twice, a record that would remain unbroken for almost 20 years. Who was the first Indian to reach the South Pole? J.K. Bajaj, who is a colonel in the Indian Army, became the first Indian to reach the South Pole in history. Call. Jatinder Kumar, J.K. Bajaj, a mechanical engineer and seasoned mountaineer, was the first Indian, and the first Asian, to reach the South Pole on the 17th of January 1989. Who was the first American president to visit India? Dwight David Eisenhower was an American military officer and statesman who served as the 34th President of the United States from 1953 to 1961. Who was the first British Prime Minister to visit India? Harold Macmillan. British statesman and conservative politician who was Prime Minister of the United Kingdom from 1957 to 1963. Who was the first Indian author to get Anderson Award? Ruskin Bond was the first Indian to get this prestigious award, which was established in 1956. Ruskin Bond is considered one of the greatest Indian authors of the English language. Who was the first Indian to win the World Billiard Trophy? Wilson Lionel Garton Jones was a professional player of English billiards from India. Jones, a dominant national amateur champion for more than a decade, won the Amateur World Championship twice, in 1958 and 1964. He was awarded the Arjuna Award in 1963, the Padma Shri Award in 1965, and the Dronacharya Award in 1996.